there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode put on by public television and sponsored by BSEP, preparing you for all of life's natural disasters. Nope.
We are prepared so you don't have to be.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another...
No, there's no relaxing in natural disasters and disaster planning.
Okay, fine. Let's just get to another episode of BSEP.
You did it!
Yay!
Yes, we are here from BSEP, Blessed Savior Emergency Preparedness, with our BSEP, which is Blessed Savior Emergency Preparedness Planning, because we are prepared so you don't have to be.
I still don't understand why we're doing these. Whatever. What is today's episode all about, Master Jamie?
Today we are talking about making sure that you have a supply of non-perishable food in case you're ever in an instance where there is not food easily available. Yes.
Whenever would that be the case? Like, look around you. You can't throw a stone without hitting something.
What if there's a large power outage and there's no restaurants that are open or grocery stores and all the food has gone bad? What if there's a tornado and the grocery store has been leveled to the ground? What if there's been a fire and you can't even access the street that you need to go down?
Okay, fine. I'll have some food on hand. I do actually have like the best. I do have an answer for this one.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Well, we are
skeptical, but impressed.
We are prepared, so they don't have to be, is what you keep telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Best plan ever. Okay. You said that we need to have an emergency stash of food around, so you never know when you're going to need to feed somebody or people or whatever. Okay. Lifesavers. Literally in the name. Lifesavers. And look, I have a whole big bag of them. So I could share them with so many people and tell them, here's your lifesaver, here's your lifesaver, here's your lifesaver. Boom. Enough said, training over.
And how long do you expect to live off of straight sugar? There is no nutrients in this whatsoever.
Okay, but I'll get to know a lot of people as I pass out their lifesaver.
Oh, good. You can all starve to death together.
Okay, fine. Well, if that's the case, I think I might just build me a fire and roast some marshmallows and put them between 2 peanut butter cups.
Also zero nutritional value.
Well, all I've got left is some bags of chips, and I love me some chips. It would be ideal with dip, but you just said that like everything's been wiped out, so odds are refrigeration doesn't work anymore, so that would just be bad dip.
All right, so part of being prepared in an emergency is making sure that we have the nutrients available to sustain our life and our well-being until resources are made available again.
This is all like over the top.
Nope. So you're gonna want some things like, I don't know, baked beans. Lots of protein in baked beans.
Yeah.
You're gonna want some things.
Beans, the magical fruit. Oh.
You're gonna want some things like fruits and vegetables. Now this is corn. Not the best choice, but also nice and filling. And you're gonna want some other little things that you can make easily, like some soup.
Am I gonna drink that cold?
Potentially.
What if I made a fire and roasted some marshmallows and had some soup and marshmallows?
I mean, you could do it as a dessert after you've actually filled your body with some nutrients.
Better yet, I've got me some fishing stuff from that kit that you made me purchase. I could catch some fish and soup.
That actually is not a terrible idea.
Okay, well, fine. If you say that my bag of lifesavers isn't enough in an emergency, I guess I'm just going to take this and go to the grocery store while they're still around.
Yes.
Still available.
See?
And get some
planning
food that, will feed me and keep my energy up and potentially share with others so that they too can have space. Gosh, you're so critical.
Thank you for joining us here at BSEP for another edition of BSEP, where we are prepared so you don't have to be. We are prepared so you don't have to be. All right, well, food, one of our favorite topics to talk about
clearly.
all the time. But also a story that from the Bible that we're all very familiar with. So in your Cross My Heart book, we're looking at page 22, which you just did a couple days ago. But a story that is very well known to us, especially if you grew up in the church doing Sunday school and things like that, but Jesus feeding the crowd. So a large crowd of people had gathered to listen to Jesus teach. They wanted to learn from them. They wanted to see him. They even started to follow him from town to town and city to city. But the one thing that they didn't bank on was staying as long as they did. And so they stayed so long that they actually ran out of food, and the people are starting to get hungry. And if you know what happens when you get hungry, you get cranky and you get grumbly and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what was happening. And the disciples were getting really worried because they wanted to take care of the people. They wanted to make sure that they were fed, that they were nourished, and all of that. So Jesus had them find a boy who had 5 loaves of bread, which really weren't like loaves that we think of today. They were more like a hamburger bun size. And then 2 fish. And he said, all right, let's use these. And you're talking 5,000 men, not including women and children, and just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. But Jesus, because he is God, made a miracle happen, and not only had enough to feed all of the people, but had enough to collect basketfuls of leftovers when it was done.
So unfortunately, we fall guilty, much like the disciples did, to trying to wrap our heads around or kind of contain and reason just how powerful God is. And so we always want to try to understand where all that comes from, when it's just opposite of that. We do not have any understanding, just like pastors in the service that say peace that passes all understanding. We have no idea all of the things that God actually does for us. So in our devotion today, it talks about just the things that Jesus does for us, but then also that he's able to do for us. So yes, he gives us forgiveness of sins and life and salvation and grace, mercy, love. I mean, all the things, physical things. Those are things he does give to us, but he is even able to do so much more than that. And we try to fit it in this understanding instead of just trusting and following in him. We try to put it in an understanding that makes it human, and we simply cannot, because we have something that is so much greater, a love that passes all human understanding. We can't even imagine the love that Jesus has for us as we try to understand his death, especially on the cross, to save us. I mean, I love you, but I don't know if I'm willing to die for you.
Not that kind of death.
But to die for us, to save us from sin, death, and the power of the devil. So this comes down to one of those things where we do have to trust. We have to shut up. We have to stop doubting. We have to just believe and trust in God, because we know that he can do, will do, and is able to do everything for us, because we are his dear children and he loves us so very much. So as you continue throughout this Lenten season, our prayer for you is that you would just trust. Try not to understand, but just trust that God's love for you is greater than anything we can even imagine. And that as you have that peace and love in your hearts, that you would also share it with everybody around you, so that they too can have the love, benefits, blessings, everything that God gives to all of his children.
Absolutely. We're so glad that you guys have joined us this week, and we look forward to seeing you next week.